Buried alive. The grinder's deadly. I used to laugh at urban legends about people waking up underground, clawing at wooden walls no one would hear through, but I'm not laughing anymore. Because one night, I opened my eyes in a darkness so complete it swallowed my breath, and I realized the air around me was running out. I'm not sure where to begin, so I'll start with the part that still makes the hair on my arms rise. A few months ago, I moved into a small rental on the edge of town. It was cheap, a little run down, but I needed a place of my own after a breakup. The landlord barely looked me in the eye when he handed me the keys. His only warning was not to dig too deep in the backyard. I thought he meant the soil was unstable or there were pipes buried. I laughed it off. The house was nothing special: creaky floors, peeling paint, the faint smell of mildew. But the strangest thing was the yard. The dirt out back was darker than anywhere else, almost black, like it had been burned. The ground was uneven, little dips and rises, as if someone had shoveled soil back into place again and again. For the first week, nothing happened. I tried to ignore the occasional banging sounds at night, the soft vibration that seemed to travel through the floorboards when I was in bed. I told myself it was the old pipes. Then came the voices. I woke up one night to what sounded like whispering outside my window, faint, like someone buried under blankets. I froze in bed, straining to hear. It was a man's voice, hoarse, begging, "Help me, please, help me." When I worked up the nerve to peek outside, no one was there, just the patchy yard, pale under the moonlight. The next morning, I found something in the dirt. A handprint, small, pressed deep into the soil, too fresh to be old. I started noticing the dips in the yard changing, as though something beneath was shifting. Sometimes I swore the ground pulsed, just faintly, like a heartbeat. I asked the landlord about it when he stopped by. He got tense immediately, lips pressed tight. "You don't want to know," he said. Then, softer, almost to himself, "They never stay buried." That night, I dreamed of soil pressing against my face, clogging my mouth. I woke, gasping, convinced dirt was pouring onto me. My sheets were damp with sweat, but when I sat up, I swore I smelled earth-rich, loamy, and wrong. The sounds grew louder, no longer whispers, but scratching. From beneath the floor, slow, deliberate scrapes, like fingernails dragging wood. I tried to convince myself it was mice, maybe raccoons, but the rhythm was too steady, too human. One night, the scratching stopped suddenly. Then came 3 knocks, knock, knock, knock directly under my bed. I didn't sleep at all after that. I should have left, packed my bags, and never looked back. But I didn't. Curiosity kept me tethered. I had to know. One evening, I went out to the yard with a flashlight. The air was thick, heavy, even though it was a cool night. I stood over the darkest patch of dirt and dug with the shovel I found in the shed. After maybe 2 feet, the shovel hit something solid. I knelt down, brushed away the soil, and froze. It was wood, old, splintered, a box, a coffin. The smell that seeped out was sour and metallic. My heart pounded so hard, I thought I might faint. I didn't open it, I couldn't, but I covered it back quickly, hands shaking. I didn't tell anyone who would believe me. That night, the dreams returned. But this time, it wasn't me being buried. It was others. I saw faces pressed against glass, mouths opening and closing in silent screams. Men, women, even children, their eyes wide with terror as dirt rained down on them. I woke with my throat raw, as if I had been screaming. When I stumbled to the bathroom, the mirror fogged, though no water was running. Across the glass, written with some invisible finger, were the words, "You're next." The following week blurred together. I barely ate, barely slept. The noises never stopped. Scratches, knocks, whispers that grew louder, clearer. I remember one night hearing shovels. The metallic scrape of metal into dirt, the heavy thump of soil being moved. I ran outside, flashlight trembling in my hand, but the yard was empty. Empty, but not silent. From below the ground came muffled cries. Dozens of them. I lost track of time after that. Shadows seemed to move even when I sat still. Sometimes I'd wake in the middle of the living room, dirt under my nails, my feet caked with mud, though I had no memory of leaving bed. I started locking every door, every window, but it didn't matter. The voices were inside now. Jason, a friend from work, came by after I stopped showing up. He took one look at me and said I looked like hell, pale, exhausted, eyes bloodshot. I begged him to believe me, to hear the sounds. He humored me, sat in the living room that night. For hours, nothing happened. I thought maybe I had imagined it all. Then, just before midnight, the floorboards beneath us rattled. Scratching began. Jason's face went white. "There's something under us," he whispered. Before I could answer, a loud crack split the silence. A board in the center of the room buckled, dirt spilling through the gap. Jason bolted. He didn't even look back. He just left me there. I tried to leave too. I packed my car, but it wouldn't start. The battery was fine. The engine just refused. Every time I stepped back into the house, the floor groaned like it was breathing. That night, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, too exhausted to fight. Around 3 in the morning, the mattress dipped beside me, though no one was there. The smell of earth filled the room. And then, a hand, cold calloused, caked with dirt, sliding across my arm. I screamed until my voice gave out. I don't remember falling asleep, but I woke up somewhere else. Darkness. My hands pressed against rough wood, my legs pinned, unmoving. I couldn't sit up, couldn't roll. I was inside the box. My chest heaved. I tried to scream, but dirt filled my throat. I gagged, coughed, choking on the soil trickling through cracks. I clawed until my nails bent back, blood slicking the wood. My lungs burned. Every breath drew in more dust. Somewhere above me, faint but undeniable, laughter echoed deep, grinding laughter, as though a dozen voices shared the same throat. The grinders, that's what I call them now, though I don't know if they're people, or something older, something worse. They bury, and they watch, and they wait for the panic. I don't know how I got out. Maybe I never did. Maybe I'm still there, my mind replaying the moments before the soil crushes my lungs completely. But when I open my eyes in my bed at night, I still taste dirt. I still hear the muffled cries rising through the floor. And every morning, I find soil beneath my fingernails. If you ever rent a house with uneven ground in the yard, if the landlord tells you not to dig, don't ask questions. Don't get curious. Because once they know, you've heard them. Once the grinders catch your scent, they'll never stop digging.